it's Anne from the Useless Crafter. All right, so today we're making Rainbow Brite. She's pretty stinking cute. I mean, I feel like anytime you do an off the mat character, it's so, because it's basically cardstock from an SVG file off of an actual image, like a real image. It is so accurate and so, yeah, it's just so accurate. Like, this is Rainbow Brite. No one's gonna say, oh, her nose isn't cute, or her eyes, oh, her eyes don't look exactly the same. It's always your character. I mean, as you can see, that's literally Snow White, right? So it just looks amazing. Anyway, I know this one's gonna be it's gonna be tough. Like the details, there were a lot of details. Like just check out her shoes. Those are individual pieces. I wanted to weld it so badly, but I felt like it would change the piece. So she has a lot of color. She's 30 inches. I would probably recommend doing this a little bit bigger, but because we're under quarantine, I'm limited on materials with my foam board, so I didn't want to make it any bigger. But I feel like with these pieces, you could have made it bigger. And actually her hair was only at 9 inches or some. So we still could have made this probably another 6 inches bigger without slicing anything. So that would be my recommendation. But like I said, I stuck to 30 inches. So you can see some of my pieces are small, especially in the shoe. But some cool things I want to show you today. All right, so what I did was I always, once I cut it, I take it off the mat and I piece it together because I want to see if I'm missing any pieces. Does anything look really bad? Should we redo anything? In this case, there are some things that I deliberately did, so I want to go over that with you guys. But other than that, everything was here. I cut another background. Sorry, I'm getting like distracted. I cut another background so that we could tape it and we can keep this as is and we can transfer everything over. I do recommend though that you do piece it together so you get a good feel for how everything lays out. It's not the easiest to actually take it off the mat and then kind of line everything up because you need, you know, the border is supposed to be a certain way, the colors next to each other, they all kind of have to line up. So you definitely want to do that just to get a feel for it. But all right, so let's get started. We always start with our background. So I've already, was in 6 pieces. But it actually cut on 4 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock. So what I like to do is I like to tape up 2 pieces at a time. So I'm gonna take the middle 2 pieces, flip it over, because we're gonna tape on the back. And I did, you know what, I normally tell you guys to use just 65-pound cardstock because it's just the background. But because I am low on my foam board, I didn't know if I would have enough. So I cut this on 110 cardstock. So it is a little bit easier to work with because it's not flimsy. So when I take this piece, you want to push it up against your other piece to tape it down. It's just, it's really nice and firm. I don't like using it because I feel like I'm wasteful using 110 cardstock, and it's a little bit more expensive. It's a little bit more wear and tear on your blade. So I usually, for my background, I just like simple 65-pound cardstock, which I also buy on sale. So, you know, it just makes sense to do it that way. All right, so I take the middle piece on her foot or her feet, legs is 1 piece. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna push it up against the 2 pieces that I just taped down, okay? And then you wanna tape these 2 together. Okay, and then you wanna flip the hair around. So if you follow me on Instagram, I feel like that's the best place to get me because I have lots of pictures of all the projects, and I always still let you know when a video comes out, if you don't subscribe to YouTube. But I'm gonna post a picture of the actual SVG compared to what we do. And the reason is because her hair down at the bottom of the ponytail at 30 inches, some of the pieces were so small and I just didn't want to deal with it. So I didn't cut those pieces, and then I'm just gonna cut her hair off. So we will do that in a second. All right, so now I'm gonna take the hair, the face to the bigger piece. And again, you just kind of want to keep it pushed up against each other, and then tape it down. Okay, and then her ponytail goes like that. Okay, last piece. Okay. It's so dark, the black on black, I can't even see. You want to make sure though that your tape doesn't go over any areas, because with the clear tape on the black, it is really obvious. You can really see the tape. So I put tape over the cutout a little bit. Okay, so this is what the back looks like all taped up. And this is what the front looks like. And I'm gonna definitely need to tape this together right here because I can see it flapping. So here she is. So let's put her down, and then let's start transferring things over. Now I like to use double-sided tape, glue dots, tape runner. These are all the things that I like to tape down. Because it's cardstock on cardstock, you can do that. When my background is actually glitter, or if I do glitter on top of glitter, I will use glue. I don't like using glue though, because what happens is no matter how careful you are, you have to be super diligent, because the paper with the glue, it tends to make the paper kind of like warp up a little bit. So you're gonna have like, you need to make sure that it dries flat, and you know, so I prefer not to use glue. But okay, let's do her hair first, because her hair is its own separate thing, and we can do that without lining up everything, okay? And this is what I love about this design. So her big hair is actually all one piece. It is great for this size. However, if you wanted to make her bigger than what we did at 30 inches, I would suggest that you slice it right here and just continue making it look deliberate, like it should be the bang should be its own separate piece, because then you can make it bigger. And then, do you see the little cutouts in her hair? I would extend the line up and make this part 3 pieces. Then you can make this, I think in my video tutorial, we ended up making her 53 inches, or no, 63 inches, which is 5'3", which is my height. And she was seamless. So you definitely can get away with doing that. All right, so let's put her down. And let's put her hair. I was like, what is going on? Her ponytail's on the wrong side because I have it flipped the other way. Okay. Holy heck. I know. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. Oh my gosh, hold on. I taped her hair to her hand. Okay, oh my gosh, I did not notice this. I am so bad at puzzles, it's ridiculous. Okay, so this whole bottom piece was misaligned. So I'm undoing it, moving it over. That is too funny. Okay. And it's kind of hard to do it this way because the tape is sticky and it wants to get down. So bear with me. Oh my gosh, that was hilarious. I'm like, what am I looking at? The hair doesn't belong here. Okay. But an easy fix. Okay. this makes more sense. I was like, ah, okay. All right. Okay. All right, that was crazy. Okay, so what am I looking at here? Is this right? Hold on. Let me look up the image. I'm all turned around right now. And that's the other thing that I like is I also like to have my image on my laptop so that I can see where everything goes. Because this visual stuff is not my forte. What the heck is going on? Is this? I don't even know where this goes. This was working earlier. Was it this? What is this? Okay. Don't mind me. What in the world? I bet I have this piece wrong. I do have this piece wrong. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so bad. Okay. It goes like this, and that's why my piece wasn't working. Oh my God. Okay, so what I like to do in the beginning, which I didn't do this time, which is why I'm having such a hard time, I like to flip everything over at one time and start taping, and then I didn't, so I couldn't remember which pieces I flipped over and which pieces. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. All right, well, I'm glad I did it and you didn't do it, but that's my recommendation. Always flip it over like I do every other character. All right. Okay. Was it this one? Yeah. Okay. I'm like, don't mind me today. Okay. Hopefully, oh man, okay. I'm gonna take this piece because I ripped off the tape. That's not good. Okay, so flip it over again, tape from the back. Nothing that we can't fix, no big deal except for I'm just wasting our time. Which under quarantine, I guess that's the one thing we do have plenty of. All right. Okay. For crying out loud, let's get this hair down. Okay. Much better. Now it makes sense. Okay, so this hair goes there. This goes up here. Okay. And because I made this smaller than the original, her little tendrils right here in the ponytail loop, they were really small and slender. So what I did was I ended up welding it and making it a little bit thicker. So I'm tempted to redo my Cricut tutorial, my Design Space tutorial, because I felt like I modified this quite a bit. Okay. This star is like not fitting properly. Okay, so it looks like the star is flushed in with her hair, so there's no outline. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I feel like this is close enough. Okay. So I'm good with the way this looks. So down here, she had like little, like tiny pieces of yellow. I'm actually just going to cut her hair off right here. I'm just gonna do it with a pair of scissors and get rid of this whole bottom part. And I mean, it'll be better on our foam board anyway to not have that little piece there. Okay. So I cut off this part of the hair. No one's gonna notice. And so it ends like this. Okay, so now that we have this hair in place, which I feel like it looks pretty good, let's tape this down. So these little tendrils, what I do is when you're cutting your black background, I just save the scraps so that I have something to use to do the tape, and then this is kind of like my scratch paper. When you're using the tape runner, just make sure it's kind of like, you know, like little bubbles inside. Just pop that, because the tape, even though it's clear, it will show up on the black. So you just want to make sure that you pop that from using the tape. Okay, so just press it down. Same thing with this little guy. It's so small and thin and delicate that I think this is the best way to tape it down. I usually will use, like I said, double-sided tape. And do you see that little, I just take like the little spatula and just kind of like pop it and get rid of the little tape. Okay, this piece is big enough that I will use maybe just a glue dot. Okay, this one's definitely big enough for double-sided tape. And these will hold up because, you know, you're usually propping this up against the, on the dessert table, or, you know, for photos, it's propped up against the wall. So people aren't like manhandling it. So the double-sided tape will definitely hold up. And then afterwards, when it goes into their bedroom, it goes on a wall. So you're totally good with double-sided tape. Okay, so the little thin parts, I will use my tape runner just to make sure it stays down. You want all the points because you don't want that flapping. When it flaps, then it just kind of distracts from everything else. All the big areas, just use double-sided tape. And don't go past your piece like I just did. Trying to think what else to tell you while I'm doing this. If you're doing this, okay, so the other thing, I do have something to tell you. Cricut is running a sale on their glitter paper right now. This yellow is not part of their single packet. This yellow only comes in their sampler. And their sampler right now is $5. Plus, if you have access, it's another 10%. And please, if you do that, please go to my bio and use my link so that I get credit for referring you guys. I would greatly appreciate that. That way I could do these videos still for free. What else? If you like Princess Jasmine, her skin that I use, the paper that I use for her skin is on sale for $2 and something for the whole packet. So that also is in my bio on my Instagram. It's the cheapest I've ever seen it. Okay. So I'm not gonna glue down the star or her hair because I wanna make sure that her face and everything fits. So for now, all that's taped down is the outside piece. And let me show you what that looks like. And if you remember, I did trim off the little tail part of her pigtail, okay? So this is what she looks like so far. It's really, really, really cute. Let's do her shoe and then we'll work our way from top to bottom in, okay? So I'm gonna turn this around because her shoe is crazy. All right, so the red pieces go like, it's so funny how like or maybe you don't find it that funny, but I'm really bad at piecing these things together, even though this is kind of like my thing. I think I'm better at it in design space. I can tell you from a math perspective where to cut things. Okay, so what I like about her shoes and everything, this section, is that the outline kind of gives you a clue as to where everything goes. So I'm actually just gonna bring everything over. And then that way we can make sure that we like where the little gold pieces go for her shoes. Now I use Cricut paper for all of this except for the orange, because the orange that is available through Cricut, it's beautiful, but it's a deep, deep, dark orange, like almost like a brownish. So I went with a different orange that I just had on hand, but everything else is Cricut glitter cardstock. So it is on sale. I highly recommend buying it, especially this yellow. That packet, I want to say it's their pastel sampler packet. The colors are so pretty. I'm gonna be so disappointed because it's on clearance. I'm almost worried that they're not gonna sell it anymore. So I bought a ton of it. Okay, all right. So this is all good. I feel like it's all balanced. And then now we gotta move over the shoe. I almost feel like, oh no, we gotta do it. Every time I tape down before I bring everything over, I do end up regretting it. Because you're then locked into where you put it, and it's not always, you know, balanced. Like I'm already moving quite a bit. And you can see these pieces, they're not tiny, but there's a lot of them. And like I said, I was so tempted to weld it together and make it one piece, but when I tried to weld it, it just didn't look good. So I kept it like this. And see, this is, I'm gonna show you in a second why we don't tape down right away. I ran out of space. And you can also see the red isn't totally balanced. So you just can't tape down as you go. You have to move everything and then readjust and then and then make your tape down. So I'm actually going to move a little bit faster on this side because I realize it doesn't matter how well you place it, you're going to have to do some adjusting. So. Okay, so I did a better job on this side. I didn't run out of room, but what I do want is I want one of my tools. I want one of these because I want to be able to move it better without moving everything else. Okay. All right, so that side is more balanced. This side, I need to work on it. Too. I needed to realign my red. Here's my yellow, my last yellow. Okay. Okay, it looks pretty good. So let's start taping it down. I'm actually going to tape from the legs down. So let's do our double-sided tape. I may regret this because we didn't do the rest of it, like her skirt. Well, it'll come back to haunt me, it always does. Okay, so I'm taping down the legs. Okay, then her stockings. This image is so cute. I love this. And who doesn't need a little bit of rainbows right now under this crazy time that we're experiencing? All right, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do maybe the star next. So you're kind of just placing things down to help be that visual guide for you for what's left. So if I do this star, then all that's red will be easier to place. Losing my mind. Okay. Okay, so this is a big piece. I'm just going to tape it down. And you know, like once you tape it down, because we're just using double-sided tape, if you find that you need to put more tape on it later, you can just add it afterwards. It's not, I mean, it's not permanent. You just want to make sure though that you know when you're doing like the face, for instance, because the face, I hardly ever use anything but regular paper, like regular cardstock at 60 pounds, 65 pounds or so. So you can't replace that with, you can't pick that up without ruining the face a little bit. But with glitter cardstock, you definitely have a little wiggle room to come back and fix it. Okay, so now let's do the blues. I think I just have the greens and then the bottom left. Okay. This guy is so little. I'm just gonna hold it down while I run the tape. And this is just for me because I've been wanting to do this one and I've gotten a lot of requests for it, but not to buy, but just like as a tutorial. So if you have any special requests, please send them my way. I would love to like show you how to do your specific, you know, whether you want it at 4 feet, 3 feet, just leave a comment or send me a message. Okay, I just moved everything. Okay, let's do this red. Should we do the red? Yeah, we need to do the red. We're almost done with this bottom part. Losing my mind. Okay. How are you guys all coping with the quarantine? I feel like all I do is cook and clean. And I only have a 5-year-old and a husband and 2 dogs. But it feels like that's all I'm doing. So. I'm not sure I did that correctly, but that's okay. And I'm just getting rid of the tape. It went over and I just want to make sure it doesn't distract from our little thing. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's rearrange our, you know what, let's do the yellow afterwards. I can't. It's too much right now. Let's piece everything else together and see how that goes. Because everything else, they're pretty big pieces. I mean, it's a lot of pieces, but you know, like this is sizable. And all these little colors are so stinking cute. I love this one. The only other thing that I might do differently is she has a lot of blue. Like blue was a big portion of the cutout. And I don't know if it should be like, it's also the same color as her eyes. So I felt like it's more of a blue. But then when I went back to look at the picture, it almost seemed like it was like a purple. So I could be wrong that it should be purple and not blue. But this color here is the one that was very, very prominent. All right, let's do this one. And her face with this blue little star is so stinking cute. Okay. Had to give you that commentary, that side commentary. So cute. And when you're placing these pieces down, I mean, granted, we know what it should look like, but from a spacing standpoint, that's clearly just gonna bother you. I don't think that anyone coming to your party will notice that it's slightly off. It's just you and me. Okay, so this star goes like this, I think. And we're actually almost done piecing all the layers together. It's a lot of pieces, but they are kind of big. Okay, and then her eyes and her hair. She looks pretty good. I don't even know if I would do that much adjusting because I don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna flip her around. The only thing I left on this board are the two pieces for her eyes and the little red buttons. So super, super easy to, you know, transfer that over in a little bit. But I feel like this is all pretty good. That we can just start taping it down. It's pretty cute. Okay, so remember that the yellow down here, the shoe teeth, I'm gonna call it that, that's not taped down. So let's start taping these big pieces down and then we'll be good to go. Yeah. So you can see like this white piece, because it's also glitter cardstock, you can bend it a little bit, like I'm not putting a fold in it or anything like that, but you can definitely bend it to keep it in place and then just tape down a little bit. She's so cute. Okay, I'm trying to do this in order. Let's do her hand and move up. That's too big. Let me just do some glue dots here. Yeah, I feel like I'm out of practice. I'm not talking that much today. Let's see. These are pretty big pieces, nothing that you can do about it. I couldn't weld it or anything because they're different colors. So for Rainbow Brite, other than you have to fix her hair, I would definitely recommend going really big on her. And it'd be a lot easier too with all the pieces being bigger. And how fun is that? Like, she'll look amazing, seamless at 5'3". And you can see that, I mean, the arms, they're really easy. I'm just taping pretty fast work here. And we're up to the shoulder already, so we'll do the other side. And actually, yeah, once we do the other side, I won't even take down the eyes because you've seen me do it. And the red dots, maybe I'll even skip the teeth. And what we'll do instead is we'll do the the foam board, okay? All right, so let's do her hair. Her hair looks pretty good right there. Excuse me. Okay. Her little chin, or her neck area. All right. Almost there. Let's do the hand on this side. I almost ripped the paper. I put it down and it stuck before I was ready to place it down there. Okay. That was not good placement. There. And I recently bought double-sided tape from the Dollar Tree, thinking there wouldn't be that much of a difference in quality, but I don't even understand it because it's name brand, even though I got it from the Dollar Tree, but it does not stick that well. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I've used it, but I'll have to see on one of my pieces. I don't even know if I have it here. I don't know if it would last very long. I had to reposition something. I picked it up and it was like barely sticky. So I would definitely be a little bit worried about that. Okay. Yeah, I need to Google it. I don't understand Dollar Tree stuff. Like, I buy the foam board from there because it's super, super cheap. And it's fine because it's in the back. I don't need it to be of great quality. In fact, it's good that it's not of great quality because I can cut through it easily with my Cricut knife blade. I love it. We're gonna do it in a second. But I just I don't understand that one. I think it said Scotch tape on it, so I don't understand how it could be of that quality. But that's just me going off on a tangent, don't mind me. Okay. Almost done. Almost. Ah! Thank goodness it wasn't glue. Can you tell I don't like using glue? And I use them all. Like, I take your comments and I try to. So even like people's favorite glue, I'm not loving it. So I apologize. Okay, because this has the holes, I don't want to run the tape all the way through. And I do know that the red dots that go in do not fill up this space all the way. So that's why I did it that way. Okay, everything's down but the rainbow. Almost there. We're almost done. Okay. Okay, everything is taped down except for the shoes. So I'm tempted to, I'm just gonna move the shoes off even though it took me forever to put it on because I wanna do the foam board for you, okay? And then I wanna pick this up so you can kind of see what it looks like also. So everything's on but the shoes, the little yellow part, and her eyes, and the little red buttons that go in her shirt. Oh wait, did I put the red star? I didn't do the red star. Give me a second. Okay. She's so cute. And like, she's really big next to me, right? Like, not, her whole hair is not in. So next to a kid, this is a great size. This is 30 inches, which I usually do all my, most of my off the mat at 30 inches. But like I said, again, this one could be bigger. You can make her bigger and seamless, and she would look really cute and probably be easier for you to manage too. All right, so I'm gonna get another piece of cardboard. I'm gonna move this. Probably not smart to do that. Give me a second. Okay. But I like to keep it in order because I don't want to mess with the feet, the shoes. Okay, so here is a good piece. All right, here we go. So I would just take a pencil and do an outline, just go on the outline, and then we're gonna use our knife. Now, at 30 inches, okay, there, she's all in now. I had to tilt her a little bit so that her hair fits all on this board. Okay, so now just trace the outline and I'll show you what it looks like, so don't worry. Because we're gonna cut on the inside of the outline. That way your board doesn't stick out. And I'm also not gonna cut between, like there's a little hole between her legs. I'm gonna leave that full foam board. Because unless maybe later I'll go back and look at it and decide. But sometimes I feel like when you're trying to cut those little things out and you don't do a good job, it's way more distracting to have tried that than to just leave it filled in. Almost there. She's so big. Where did I start? No. Okay. So can you see my outline? All right, so I love this knife. This is also on sale right now. I think it was on clearance too, actually. So I will try to remember to link to it if you follow me on Instagram. Okay, so just go on the inside, just start. You kind of want it to be, like as you go around, you want it to be one smooth cut because from the back, it'll look really smooth. So just stay inside the line. I know for me, it's hard to see with the black, and you can, I'm gonna show you, I went really inside the lines there. I'll show you what that looks like. And I'll show you this piece because this piece has the pencil, so you can see I went really inside the lines. And this is what it looks like. From the back, you can see it's pretty smooth. We're gonna rip off this black layer, so it'll be fine. All right, so where do I wanna go? Maybe up here. And again, I went really inside the line. And then what you're gonna wanna do is I end up doing a hot glue gun to tape my piece to the foam board. So in a second, I'm gonna heat up the glue gun. I like having this stand, in case you're wondering. All right, here we go. Almost done. Let's see. and being really, really liberal with going inside the lines here. And partially because I know this one's just for me. So I know she's not gonna get a lot of wear and tear, even though I do have my 5-year-old and she does like to pick up my pieces. But yeah, you can see all these. These have been around for quite some time. And they've had their share of falling on the ground. Almost done. So you can see she's a rough outline, right? I didn't do the bottom yet, but I just want to show you what that looks like. So can you see from behind and from the front? So now she's really stable, right? I mean, we haven't even taped her down yet, but she's really stable. So I just want to make sure, you know, for her feet, I'm almost tempted to just do a straight line across so that she can stand. Let's see. I'm almost tempted to just cut it straight over. But I won't. Because I probably should have made a stand for her almost, I feel like. Because her feet aren't even. But it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna take this off, finish cutting her, the bottom, and then we'll glue it together. Okay, so the bottom I'm gonna be more careful. I'm really gonna try to stick to this outline. As I say it, I don't stick to the outline. Okay. And you can see this, you can rip off the back. So it's just this smooth white that you're gonna see in the back. So this will be the back. So it looks pretty smooth, right? And then this will be the front. So let's get her down and just make sure we're good with everything. Okay. And then I would start gluing from the bottom up. So that way, as this dries, you're holding this and you're kind of just like slowly putting it down. Okay, so the glue gun, let's get this going. So I'm just running straight across and then putting it down. Ah! I forgot that there's a gap right here. Don't do that. So now I'm gonna have to cut this middle thing because now I have glue in the middle of it. I always forget when I do that. Okay. So, well, you just gotta do it. All right, so let's be careful when we're putting glue on up here because there's a gap right here. You don't want the glue to show through right there. Which I always, every time I do that, I always forget that there's that piece right there. Okay. So let's turn it this way and just be mindful that there's a leg gap right there. And put her down, so that was good. Stick in another piece of glue stick. Okay. And then see how she's, you know, you're not bending her at all. She's still flexible as you glue her down. What you don't want is you don't want to glue a little bit here, and then you can't get to the middle part. Oh my God, I did it again with her hair up here. Holy, there's little gaps right there that I didn't notice. Hot mess right now. What should I do? We can put little pieces of gold right there and make it part of her hair. I have gold, give me a second. So I'm gonna randomly cut like it's supposed to be a piece there. Okay, don't mind me. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Just covering the little glue. It's so weird right there, but that's okay. I'm gonna go with it. Can you tell I messed with it right there? All right, there's a big hole right here, so just be mindful of that. As that was for myself. Okay. Now she's all so see, she can stay propped up. I love it. All right, so let's cut out this little piece down here. Just some piece fly off. Okay. Do you see how I got glue right there? I don't like that. So let's try to cut that out. I hate that. And actually, all things considered, even though it's not my favorite thing to do, it doesn't look that bad. But I kind of have to say that, right? Because I'm stuck in this situation that I got myself in. I'll show you in a second what it looks like. All right. Not bad. So see, I cut that out. All right. I'm gonna call it a day because we're practically done. You just need to glue, tape in the eyes, the little red dots, and then the yellow down here. But other than that, she's pretty stinking cute. All right, thanks guys.